Hey, this is Al McGee with your entertainment ticket. I'm here at the Adrienne Arsht Center, getting ready to interview some of the people, stars, dancers from American in Paris. It's a great musical. You need to come down here and see it. It's one of the best musicals I've seen this year. American in Paris, here at the beautiful Adrienne Arsht Center, right here in Miami. I really enjoyed this show. Hey, get ready to listen to some of the stars and dancers from An American in Paris.
You are watching YETicket.com with Al McGee, movie reviews and interviews. This is YETicket.com, YETicket.com, your entertainment ticket.
We are your entertainment ticket, that's right, YETicket.com. We are your entertainment ticket, that's right, YETicket.com, YETicket.com, YETicket.com. We are your entertainment ticket, that's right, YETicket.com, YETicket.com,
Welcome to An American in Paris on tour. We are now in our 10th week of touring, so we're relatively young in our touring experience. We're thrilled to be here in Miami at the beautiful Arsht Center. I myself have been a Miami Beach resident for the last 20 years, so it's always wonderful to come home off the road and actually sleep in my own bed, even if it's for a few nights. So our show is indeed inspired by the film An American in Paris, but it's its own original new musical. We have a book by Craig Lucas, Tony Award-winning playwright, and of course our brilliant direction and choreography by Christopher Wheeldon. We have a company of 35. We have 25 performers on stage at any given time, and then we have 10 folks off stage, we call swings, that are standing by should they need to go on, should someone get injured, God forbid, or should someone be on vacation or take a day off. So 35 performers. We also travel with 14 pieces in our orchestra. We are self-contained. The music for our show is by George and Ira Gershwin. Our show actually has, the blessing of is very hands-on with the Gershwin estate. Ira Gershwin's nephew actually came and spoke to the company when we rehearsal, so there's a direct tie to the family, and so that's kind of another exciting level to what we're doing. But to maintain the music of the show, we do travel with our entire orchestra as well as our maestro. We have a total of 75 people who travel with us. That includes the cast I mentioned, the orchestra, our crew, as well as a physical therapist. As I mentioned, our show was directed and choreographed by Christopher Wheeldon, who is a world-renowned genius choreographer. New York City Ballet, the Joffrey, the Royal Ballet in London. This was his first foray into Broadway, and it garnered him a Tony Award, so we're thrilled to be bringing his vision. And of course, speaking of ballet, our leading lady, Sara, Esty, of course, was a dancer at the Miami City Ballet for years, and her sister Leigh-Ann, also a Miami City Ballet performer. So we've all three come home actually to Miami with the show. The show travels in 8 tractor trailers. It takes approximately 16 hours to get everything into the theater, and 8 hours to get everything out. It's much faster to tear things down than it is to build them up.
We have about 550 total looks in the show. That's not individual pieces, that is total complete looks. So if you think about every piece having every costume having 6 to 7 pieces, that's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff to move around. It takes about, 25, 26 road boxes to fit everything into. But everything on tour has to go in a box and it has to roll away fairly quickly, especially wardrobe, because we take up so much room that we have to be out of the door within about 20 to 30 minutes once the show comes down on a loadout night. So that's a lot. That's a lot when you're, trying to get everything on hangers and make sure everybody has what they need. And we travel with laundry baskets and we have jewelry, and it's such a heavy dance show. So everybody has 5 or 6 pairs of shoes, especially our dancers who dance on point. I have hampers full of point shoes because all of them are custom made. So I have to, have a stock with me. And we have to make sure that we order them and make sure that we have enough in stock so the girls never run out. So it's kind of in New York, they were permanent. They could just order things straight to the Palace Theater, and we kind of have to order them, and they have to find us on the road somewhere. So that's been a definite challenge, but it's kind of cool. Last year I was on a very, very heavy tap dance show. So this year I just say that I've gone from tap dance hell to point shoe hell. For what we call the masquerade, which is the end of Act 1, which is kind of when our story hits its first major snag. But there's a giant party at the end of the act where everybody is in crazy outfits like this, and masks and feather headpieces, and there's every sort of fabric and costume element you could imagine. There are, sequins, there are feathers, there are roses, there's fringe, there's leather, there's a guy in horns at one point. It's probably my favorite portion of the show just because the costumes are so cool, because you'll never, even if you watch the show 14 times, you'll never fully be able to see from the audience all of the intricacies of the costumes. And they are spectacular, and it's such a feast for the eyes when you're watching it, because there are mirrors on stage, and so there's a bunch of reflections. There's something in my face. Sorry, it just kept coming. There are projections that match some of the details on the costumes. Everything is black, white, and red, so it's really rich and vibrant. And the projections really just kind of play off of it. But it's really fun, kind of, everybody thinks of Masquerade and Phantom, the top of Act 2. So it's kind of our little tip of a hat to that a little bit. It's pretty spectacular.
Hey, this is Al McGee with Your Entertainment Ticket. I'm here with Garen Scribner, but he's an American in Paris. Tell us about your character.
I play Jerry, who is an American GI who stays on in Paris just after World War II. The show takes place in 1946, and he's an artist. He wants to learn from the masters, so he stays on in Paris to do that. He's sketching on the street, and he's drawing Paris as it comes back to life after the war. He meets a girl and falls in love. He makes a couple friends, and big, beautiful American musical ensues.
Now, how did you yourself personally relate to that character?
So Jerry is looking for love. He's looking for inspiration for his art. He's looking to encourage others, and that's something that I relate to for sure, because as a performer, I've been a performer since I was 7 years old. That is what inspires me every day to get up and get back on stage, no matter how tired I am or no matter how exhausting it might be. I love it so much, and I love to see the reaction in people's eyes when they are inspired by something that's beautiful. So.
Now, how long have you been training to be a ballet dancer? I'm going to tell you, man, your ballet dancing, your dancing period really struck me and really got into me as I was watching you on stage. So how long have you been a ballet dancer?
Thank you so much. I have been a dancer since I was 7. So I started at the Washington Ballet when I was a real little kid, and I was doing the Nutcracker.
Is that the state of Washington?
Washington, D.C. Yeah, and was while Bill Clinton was the president, and Chelsea Clinton was in the cast with me, so I got to do the show with her. There were Secret Service people around. It was very cool. It felt very glamorous to a 7-year-old, so I think that's where I really got bit. And I loved the rigor of coming to the theater every day and performing every day, so that's where I fell in love with it, and that's when I started dancing.
Now, there's a line in the show where it says that an entertainer has to give the audience something bright to look forward to. I'm probably paraphrasing. And that's what you want to do as an entertainer, to have people to look forward to something, but it's going to be a light at the end of the tunnel.
Absolutely. Especially this time and every time in our lives, we need to be inspired, and we need to look forward to something beautiful at the end of the tunnel, like you said. And, that's something that I look for when I go to see a show, or when I go to a concert, or see anybody do something that they love to do. something lifts up inside of you. And I hope to inspire that in other people. When I get that feeling when I'm in an audience, it really feels sublime and spiritual and uplifting. And that's why I do this.
Garen, I'm going to tell you, I had a great time watching you last night. Thank you for taking a moment with me, Al McGee, at Your Entertainment Ticket, and much more success for you in the future. But what you did last night was so fabulous and beautiful.
Thank you so much, Al. My pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you. Hey, I'm Al McGee. I'm here at the beautiful Adrienne Arsht Center, but I'm here with two beautiful young ladies. And man, they really thrilled me on stage. All right? They are very good. Sara Ann?
Leigh-Ann.
Oh, sorry, Leigh-Ann Esty?
Yes, Leigh-Ann Esty. Sara Esty.
And Sara Esty, right. Now, An American in Paris. I saw you guys on the show and in the show last night. It was beautiful. First of all, tell us about your character.
Well, I play the role of Leigh Descent, and Leigh plays it as well.
She's your understudy?
She's my alternate. Yeah. So she'll do it on
okay.
Sunday. Yeah. And she's also in the ensemble. Yeah. So you did see her last night too. Yeah. Yeah. I know. Twins. I know. I don't know.
Are you twins?
Yeah, we're identical twins.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Weird. Well, I learn something new every day, especially when I see real people.
I know, right?
So you twins. So why? Who wanted to be in ballet first?
Oh,
I think we both shared a love for movement in general, and we were kind of crazy kids, so
Yeah.
our parents just put us in
into
creative
movement class because it was too much. Can you imagine just two energetic little people running around the house all the time? Like, oh my gosh.
But yeah, we both loved it. We grew up loving it, and luckily together. I mean, it was really a gift for sure.
Now tell us, why were you interested in this show?
Well, both of us having come from a professional ballet company background.
You were with the Miami Ballet, right? Yeah, I've seen them a few times in my lifetime here.
Yeah, she just left last season.
I did.
And I left 2 years ago to join the Broadway company of this show and the Paris company as well.
You were there for about 10 years, 12 years?
10 years, and she was there 12, yeah. Crazy, I know.
So actually, Christopher Wheeldon, who is a huge name in the ballet community, was creating this project. And so when he first started out, Sara and I were both contacted about the project. Sara left. I felt like I had some more growing to do here. And then 2 years later, they started auditioning for the tour. So I was ready, and I auditioned, and the rest is history, really.
Yeah.
Well, what's the main character name? Your character's name?
Her name is Leigh Descent.
And she was a very beautiful lady in Paris right after World War II. Now, did you see the movie first, or did you see the Broadway production?
Oh, yes. Well, we saw the movie years
Many
ago.
years ago.
Yep. And so our show is actually heavily inspired by the movie, but it's a slightly different story. Yep. So I think, just being influenced by that amazing MGM good old-fashioned musical had a lot to do with it, for sure. Yeah.
Well, both of y'all have great stage presence. That's a word they use to say you look good on stage. But how did you develop that? I mean, who helped you to develop that, and so on and things like that?
We had a lot of help. I mean, just
wonderful
first of all,
teachers.
I mean, watching, the ballerinas who had, seasoned ballerinas who had been there in our dance company, just watching them and kind of studying how they were on stage. We were heavily influenced by that. And also when we started with this project, we had a lot of help in New York as well with some great acting teachers. And our directors have just been incredible. So,
and also watching movies. I mean, of the old classics, Gene Kelly, Leslie Caron in this movie is beautiful. It's just very inspiring. And growing up, we would study these movies
and just try to be like them.
Try to mimic it, and now it's actually paying off.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Paying the bills now, right?
Literally. No. Yeah.
Yep. That's fun.
I'm telling you, last night when I saw the show, I was mesmerized. I really was. It's one of the best shows I've seen this year, live. And I love live theater. In fact, that's what I have my master's degree in. And I used to be a professor too, and I taught drama and things like that too. Yeah. But when I saw, you two are from South Florida, right?
Well, we're originally from Maine, but because we were with the ballet company down here for so long, it does feel like home.
Yeah,
for
12.
sure.
It's home for me. I'm from Chicago originally. So
Okay, yep,
I've been
yep.
out here 26 years.
Wow.
Yep. Wow,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, we kind of grew up here. Right after high school, we moved here. So,
Yep.
yep.
Now, the Adrienne Arsht Center, I was backstage and I saw everything. Are you amazed about this stage?
I mean, we have performed here with the ballet company since its opening.
Yeah.
We actually Miami City Ballet performed in
The opening
night
show
of
for
the
Art
theater
Center.
of its initial opening.
Or back then, it was the Carnival Center.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. So we've seen it go through multiple amount of shows and just so many performances. So there's a lot of memories here, but it is definitely one of my favorite theaters in the
so
country.
impressive.
It's huge
It is.
and just comfortable and oh God, just beautiful. Yeah. We love it.
Well, I can talk to you young ladies all day, but I know you got to go to rehearse and things like that. Well, I'm talking to the Estys. They're beautiful. Come see the show here at the Adrienne Arsht Center. I saw it. I'm going to see it again. They are beautiful and wonderful, and I'm glad to have them near me. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Keep up the good work, please. Keep up the good work, okay? Keep up the good work. Hey, this is Al McGee. I'm here at the Adrienne Arsht Center, but I'm talking to Etai Benson. But he's from Fort Lauderdale, actually Coral Springs, right? I used to live in Coral Springs.
I love Coral Springs, man. That's where I went to high school. I did a high school theater there. That's kind of where I discovered that this is what I wanted to do.
Oh, really? In Coral Springs? Yeah. Oh, that's great.
J.P. Taravella High School.
Oh, I'm familiar with that high school. My daughter went to Coral Springs High School.
Okay, one of our rivals. But that's okay. I'll forgive you.
But here, we're here to talk about you in An American in Paris. Now, your role, you're ex-serviceman, and you stayed in Paris. Tell us about your character.
Well, the character's name is Adam, and he's an ex-GI who got injured in the war. So I walk around with a limp on my leg. He got an injury in his leg. And he's an artist. He's a composer who's trying to write his masterpiece. And he decided to stay in Paris after the war for inspiration. And he meets Jerry. They become fast pals, and then the story ensues.
Now, this role, it's been done many times and over the years. What do you think when you saw the script that said, hey, what can I do to bring this role to life?
Well, what I really love about this role is that aside from being in the story, he's also the narrator of the story. So I get to engage with the audience. I mean, the first thing you see in the show is I walk out, I light a cigarette, and I start talking to the audience. 2,000 people out there, and I have to make it seem like I'm talking to each one. And I love that. It's rare in a show that you get to like engage directly with the audience, and that's a really cool aspect of it to me.
I really enjoyed that part. I really enjoyed that too, where you narrated the show, but also I really enjoyed your character. You didn't really win the woman and things like that, but you had a great time. Now tell us, how much did you know about the musical before you auditioned for it or even got the part?
Well, when I found out about the audition, I immediately watched the movie. But our show is so different than the movie. It's really just inspired by the movie, but the story's totally different, and especially this character, who's played by Oscar Levant in the film, he's a totally different role in the movie. So I was inspired by the movie, but I really got to create it on my own in the audition. And then when I saw the show on Broadway, and I could see how the role made sense in the whole story, I immediately identified with him. I mean, he's an artist, he's Jewish, he's kind of, he's witty, he's brash, he's blunt, he's no BS, he tells it like it is, and I really love that about him, and I love tapping into that.
Oh, man. I really love tapping into that when I was watching you also. Now, coming from Coral Springs, now you in a Broadway production, how you feel about that?
Well, I always try to remember where I came from, and what's great about coming to Miami with this show and West Palm is that all my friends and family who saw me performing on that high school stage get to come see the show. So like tonight, my drama teacher is here.
Oh, that's great. I used to be a drama teacher, so I know how that feels. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. I think it means a lot for her. It means a lot for me to have her there. And when we were in West Palm, she actually brought a group of 40 students from my high school.
Whoa.
And I did a talk with them, and it was just, it's so cool. It's just such a full circle moment.
Oh man, I know how that feels, and that really feels good, doesn't it?
It's really special.
And your performance last night is one of the best I've seen in a while, and you really took that character and really made it your own. Now, what are the lessons, or what kind of words can you say to someone who's trying to make it in the business? What would you say to them?
I would say just, you have to really devote yourself to this business. You have to go 100%. I totally believe in following your passion, follow your dream. You can always go back to school if it doesn't work out, but I never believe in looking back and regretting what if. Maybe I should have tried. I say go for it.
Wow. You better go for it, but also go see the show too, American in Paris, here at the Adrienne Art Center. Hurry up, it's not going to be here long, and he won't be here long either. Thank you very much.
Pleasure talking to you.
Oh man, it's great watching you.
This is your entertainment ticket. Latest and greatest.